December 30th, 2000. Far from the neon-lit Shibuya district, Setagaya is a quiet, suburban corner of Tokyo, defined by narrow residential alleys and a heavy stillness. The Miyazawa family lived an ordinary life here. Takeshi and Yuri spent evenings in a house filled with children's drawings and the low hum of a space heater, projecting an image of quiet domestic stability. But Yuri had started to feel a shift in that stability. She noted footsteps in the night and the sensation of someone watching the house from the nearby park, a presence that never quite revealed itself. True crime horrors rarely begin with an obvious villain. They take root in these moments of unprotected, everyday normality. On the morning of December 31st, a relative discovered the domestic peace had been shattered. She entered the house after her calls went unanswered, finding a scene that would permanently alter the neighborhood's history. The public usually equates an unsolved crime with a total absence of traces. In this view, a perpetrator must be a ghost who meticulously erases every hair and fingerprint. The reality here was far more disturbing. After the killings, the perpetrators stayed in the house for hours. They used the family computer, ate ice cream from the freezer, and even used the bathroom. The killer left behind a staggering trail: foreign clothing, unusual sand tracked in from a specific region, clear fingerprints, and their own blood and DNA. With such an abundance of forensic data, the Tokyo Metropolitan Police expected a swift arrest. They had a complete biological profile and physical evidence that seemingly pointed to a specific individual. This wealth of information created a false sense of certainty. The evidence acted as a trap, leading investigators into a maze that would remain unsolved for decades. The investigation was one of the largest in Japanese history, with detectives reviewing over 12,000 potential suspects against the DNA profile found at the scene. In theory, physical evidence functions as a filter. Specific data points mathematically eliminate the impossible until a single suspect remains. But these markers performed the opposite function. Sand from the American Southwest and European clothing brands caused the search to scatter in 1,000 directions. These details were mutually exclusive. The profile suggested a local teenager, while simultaneously pointing toward military personnel or a transient traveler, making a single identity impossible to pin down. Every new piece of forensic data pushed the truth further away. The sheer volume of information eventually shattered the investigators' confidence in modern forensic science. A major lead involving a partial DNA match to a diplomatic family suddenly hit a wall. Allegations of government pressure surfaced, and the lead was effectively abandoned, stalling the official inquiry. This lack of official progress invited a media frenzy. Television networks filled the silence with conspiracy theories, psychics, and a revolving door of unverified suspects. This constant cycle of speculation psychologically infected the city. It turned a private tragedy into a sensationalized national obsession, making every neighbor a potential suspect. Institutional self-preservation and the resulting public paranoia did more to derail the investigation than any lack of evidence ever could. The detectives bore the heaviest burden. Many, like Kenjiro, saw their lives unravel under sleep deprivation and the frustration of dead ends. They eventually realized that the massive volume of physical evidence was a deliberate performance. The perpetrator hadn't been careless, they had been communicative. By lingering, the killer transformed the crime scene into a voyeuristic display. They left a trail meant to be found, designed to haunt the authorities. This desire to be seen while remaining untouchable is the case's true legacy. It created an invulnerability that deeply traumatized investigators, tasked with making sense of the chaos. Years have passed, and the neighborhood has largely rebuilt. New families have moved in, and the memory of that winter has faded for the city at large. Yet the Miyazawa house still stands, sealed and silent behind a tall fence. It remains exactly as it was, a jarring, frozen moment in the middle of a modern city. It functions now as an architectural monument to the limits of human logic and the failure of forensic certainty. We lean on science and data to illuminate the darkest parts of human nature. We want to believe that every act of violence leaves a solvable puzzle. The paradox of this case is that the killer did everything wrong. They sat at the table, left their DNA, and walked away into a world that couldn't catch them. presence never truly left Setagaya. It permanently altered the psychological fabric of Tokyo, leaving a ghost that science cannot exorcise. Evil survives because the world forgets faster than it can solve the ambiguity left behind.